just get in a nice, comfortable seated position. Welcome. We said for today's class, we are going to be working on the power strengthening. So very different from last week, in the sense that last week was more of a yin. This week we are going to focus on power and strength. So if you start off in a nice, comfortable seated position and set your intention, find if you're nice and grounded, your hands are nice and comfortable on top of your thighs, above your knees. If you want, you can close your eyes. Just have your shoulders back so that your chest, your heart is open. Feel the crown of your head up toward heaven. Spine is nice and elongated. And just breathe in through your nose. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Continue breathing here. And I'd like for you to take notice of your count. Can you count your breath? 4 on the inhale and 4 on the exhale. A few weeks ago, we did the 4 square breathing. So it's breathe in for 4, hold it, retain it for 4, and then exhale for 4, and retain it for 4. This time we're just matching our inhale and our exhalation for 4. And as you're breathing here, take notice how your body feels. Is there any tension? Where is the breath directing toward? And as you exhale, can you feel anything relaxing and releasing? And if you are tense in a certain area, feel free to allow it to just relax. Perhaps you're gripping your jaw a little bit. Maybe the spot between your brows. Or your sits bone connected to the ground, but is it tense? You just want to be grounded, connected, not tight. As we prepare for this class, we're going to challenge ourselves a bit much, working on our strength. You may ask yourself, where will you call that power to come from? Is it going to be brute strength, or is it just working toward it? Or can you call on God to give us that strength? Slowly open our eyes. Inhale our arms all the way up to heaven. Get up with your inhale here. Exhale, bring it back down toward the earth. Inhale again up. Next, as you exhale, let your hands, palms face downward so it touches the ground as you exhale. One last time, inhale all the way back up, so palms receiving all the way up. Exhale all the way back down. Now, keeping your sits bone connected, bring your left hand and place it right on top of your right hand that may still be touching the mat. So see if you can try to keep your left sits bone connected to either your cushion or your mat. Feel a little bit of stretch there. And as your left hand is on top of your right hand, can you bring your gaze over your right shoulders? Get a little bit of circle twist. And can you get a little bit of an upper funnel twist? Breathe here. Exhale. Inhale our left arms all the way up like a rainbow, all the way overhead. Exhale it down to the left. Let's bring our right hand all the way over to match our left. So we get a little bit of spinal twist. Breathe here. Again, if you want, maybe you can peer over your left shoulder. Inhale our right arm all the way up, like the rainbow, all the way across. And then our right hand's down, our left hand's in front. I sweep both hands all the way back up again. Up toward the heavens. And as you exhale, we're going to go right in front. So let it come down, both hands down toward the floor in front of us. Place our hands on top of the mat. And we're going to get into our hands and knees. So depending on how you were positioned, you can get your hands and knees on top. Your knees directly underneath your hips. Your hands directly underneath your shoulders. You can do a couple cat-cows just to get some flexion and extension into our spine. As you inhale, drop your belly down toward the mat, lifting your gaze and your tailbone up. As you exhale, we're going into a cat, arching our spine upward, dropping our tailbone down, tuck your chin down. Inhale, reverse. And just match it to your own breath cycle. Check your feet or the top of your feet behind so you can't see them when you look down between your legs. Exhale. Inhale back into neutral spine. Going to just straighten your right foot behind you. You can keep the big toe onto the floor or lift it up. Trying to wake up the core a little bit. Feel your breath, continue breathing. Now, if your big toe was on the floor, lift it up, inhale here. As you exhale, we're gonna bring your right knee toward your nose as you bend tuck your chin down. Inhale it back out. Exhale it back in. Inhale it back out. Exhale it back in. Place your right knee back down and extend that left leg straight back. Again, you have the option, place the big toe onto the floor, or if you like, you can keep it straight out. See if you can flex your left foot as if you're stepping on the wall behind you. Now, if by chance your big toe is on the floor, see if you want to lift it up, and we're going to do the same thing here. So as you inhale, keep it straight out. As you exhale, bring your knee toward your nose. Inhale straight back out. Exhale it back in. Inhale it straight back out. Exhale it back in. Inhale it straight back out. And then bring our knee back to the floor and then draw some big circles. Rotate your hips, getting a little bit of synovial fluid into your knees and your wrists. We go in the opposite direction. Guys are looking great. Let's tuck our toes slightly. We're just going to give a little bit of break onto our wrist. Let's flip our right palm upwards so that the back of the hand's on the mat. Don't put too much pressure there. So you still have your left hand there and just have it flipped and you can kind of rotate it back and forth. Good. And then we're going to flip the right palm back down so your hand's right underneath your shoulder. And we're going to flip the left palm upward. Just kind of rotate it back and forth. So really good. Terrific. And place your hands again back underneath your shoulder. Your toes are tucked. We're going to engage your core and slightly lift that knee up slightly. Feel it. Your core start to engage, and then we're going to slowly start lifting our hips up higher, straightening your knees, coming into our downward facing dog. Now, as your heels are coming toward the mat, you may need to walk your dog, so bend, alternate your bend in your knees, feel what feels comfortable. Feel free to use any kind of props if it makes it easier for you to get into your downward facing dog. You can always use even against the wall or a table. But we're trying to get the inversion so that your arms are straight, your head are actually in line with your arms. Alternating between the two. We're in our downward facing dog. Let's inhale our heels up. Exhale your heels back down. Slowly walk your feet up toward your hand. We're going to go into forward fold. You may want to grab your opposite elbow and helps kind of pull. Gravity allows you to pull your lower back further down. You may want to just rock gently if that feels good for you. Drop your hands down to the floor. Let's inhale as you walk, and as you exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, so we're getting that lower part of the spine, nice little spinal twist. Breathe here. Both feet should be nice and planted, nice and rooted into the ground. Inhale your hands back to center, and as you exhale, walk it over to the left side. Bring your breath here. Feet are still nice and rooted. Inhale it back to center. Engage your core as you slowly start coming up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Very good. Excellent. All right. Take your time. So we're going to do a little bit of sun salutation. We have avoided that one for a while, but in this case, check your feet, hip width apart. Beautiful, nice and planted. Great. Now your arms all the way back up, palms together. Let's do a slight little back bend. Make sure you're not just compressing your lower back. Feel yourself raise upward and then over. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, bring your hands all the way down to the floor. Forward fold. Inhale, your hands to your shin, nice flat back. So your back is nice and flat. Your head right at the hip. Shoulder blades still back behind you. Exhale, forward fold. Take a step back, your right foot. Into our lunge. Someone has cats visiting. And so if you want, you can do a slight little pulse. So your joints kind of awakening. Then have both hands planted as you take a step back with your left foot. Downward facing dog. Going to inhale to plank atop the push-up. You can always drop to your knees. You can do your knees, chest, and chin, or you can chaturanga, where you're just allowing yourself to go up, forward a little bit, and then lower yourself down. Inhale to baby cobra, so your hands drop underneath your shoulders. Have your feet onto the mat. Shoulder blades spread out wide, nice broad. Show your heart. Exhale, you tuck your toes and press yourself up, back into downward facing dog. Lift your right foot up in the air, three-legged dog. As you exhale, we're going to bend your left knee slightly and bring your right foot forward by your right hand. Lunge in the other direction. Make sure your right knee is not too far past your toes. Good. Take a step up with your left foot. Sweep your hands up all the way. Up. Exhale, slight little back bend. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back, nice broad shoulders, shoulder blades back, tuck those angel wings back in. Exhale, forward fold, take a step back with your left foot. Let's plant your left hand onto the floor. Let's lift our right arms up, this upper spinal twist. Exhale your hand back down to the floor, take a step back with your right foot, downward facing dog. You may go into plank with your inhale. Have the option. You can do now, as you exhale, your knees shift to the chin or your chaturanga. Inhale to baby cobra or upward facing dog if you prefer. Exhale as you tuck yourself back up into your downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot up behind your three-legged dog. Try to keep those hips even. As you exhale, bend the right knee slightly, but bring your left foot all the way up so you can always help it up. Beautiful. And if you feel like some of your joints are a little tight, you can always do that small little pulsing. This time you're going to plant your right hand onto the mat. Inhale your left arm up toward the sky. Exhale your left hand back down. Take a step up with your right foot. Sweep your hands up. Inhale. Exhale, slight build back in. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, let's bring ourselves into that chair. All right, core strength. So check your knees. Want to make sure your knees not past your toes. You don't have to go down deep. Options with your hands. You can keep your arms up if you want. You can keep your hands in prayer pose. Namaste. Or let's say your shoulders might be speaking to you a little bit much. You can always do cactus or field goal. Pretend you're at the football game, since I don't know how many football games are going on anymore. College football is not the way it was pre-COVID wise, so you have the options. Now, feel your feet, the root of your feet in the mat. Pretend you're trying to pull your mat away from you to the sides, but then don't let those knees flare out or inward. You can probably feel a little bit of glute work here. Also, abductors. Inhale, straighten your feet, bring your arms back all the way up. Exhale, sweep your hands all the way back down, forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back. Shoulder blades back. Exhale all the way back down. All right, you guys, we're going to bend your knees, heel toe your feet outward. We're going to bring your seat downward. Hands at heart center if it's possible. You can always place blocks underneath your hips. Get those hip joints a little bit open. Just be kind. Everyone is uniquely created. Take a couple breaths. See if you can keep your crown of your head up toward the heaven. Just try and stretch a little bit. Hands back down to the floor. Slowly start lifting your hips up. And then allow your feet to rotate so that they're now parallel to the floor. So we're in a strange forward fold. All right, we talked about core work. Okay, so hands are down on the floor. You take a step back with your left foot, take a step back with your right foot. Back in the downward facing dog, but we're going into a plank. Now we're going to go into forearm plank. So left elbow behind underneath your shoulder, right elbow underneath your right shoulder. We're in a forearm plank. This is going to be very, very important for you not to allow your hips to drop down like that or up too high, okay? So it's going to be at even. So you can always drop your knees, completely fine. But when you do that, I want you to feel your core, the engagement right around here, okay? So remember, whatever core muscles you're using is protecting that lower back. So we're not going to get it immediately, so we need to gradually build it up. So if you're in this position, couple options with your hands. Some people actually like to prefer to have their arms running parallel to each other. Some people actually like to have their hands so that the fingers are interlaced, so it's kind of like a little triangle. You decide what feels best for your shoulders. Again, let's drop our right knee toward the floor, if it wasn't already. And then lift that right knee up and then drop your left knee down to the floor. Back up, now your right knee down, up, left. Bring both knees down. And slowly walk your hands underneath you, and we're going to go into our child's pose. So, calves are parallel. Bring your hips down toward your heels. Arms may still be above your head toward the mat. And just feel the expansion of your back ribs expanding. Breathing here. Coming back up, back into our tabletop. During our tabletop, we're going to walk our hands a little bit up ahead and then drop that right forearm down. We're going to slowly bring that, what was I going to do? Extend your left leg behind you, behind the right foot. We're going to go into a side plank, but with the forearm. So you can actually bring your left arm up to a side plank. So you're going to feel yourself balancing. You can feel your core and everything shaking to keep yourself in balance. If by chance you want, you can always use kind of like training wheels, or what I like to call it. You can always put your left leg in front a little bit and help prop it. And you continue breathing. If you like, you can actually lift that left leg up so it's hovering. Bring your left hand underneath your shoulder. Drop your left knee down. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders. You're like, okay, tabletop, nice and easy now. And we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're gonna drop our left elbow down underneath our shoulder. We're gonna extend your right leg, straighten your right leg, have your right heel behind or past your left foot. And then when you're ready, you can lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. So it's almost like a side plank, but it's modified. If you want to do a full side plank, you're more than welcome to. And that's where your elbow, your forearm's not on the ground. So you're going to feel a lot of hovering, a lot of muscles inside really working it. That's actually good. A lot of times when people think of balance, they're thinking someone's standing still, steady. But we all know that it's actually internally, there's so much that's going on. You can always straighten your right leg off the ground as well. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Only holding poses, not a breath. Allow that breath of life. Prana. Bring your right hand back underneath your right shoulder. You can drop your right knee. Bring your left hand back up so that you're in that tabletop. So could you feel yourself, maybe your body, even though it wasn't like as intense, but you can probably feel it moving around a lot. Great, let's tuck your toes. Let's get back into the downward facing dog. So downward facing dog really is great because, first of all, we get the inversion, but we're also working the arms, our arm strength. We don't really need our arms that much, except for when we're typing, and I don't know if we ever write this anymore, so it's good to do this. It's exhausting sometimes. Slowly build up strength, endurance. We're going to lift our right foot up behind you, three-legged dog. As we exhale, bring that right foot by your right hand. We're going to drop our left knee. Let's come up into that warrior one. Nice, strong warrior one. So right knee is over that right ankle. Left foot is behind you, arms up. Beautiful. Both hips are toward the front of your mat. Exhale into warrior two. Extend our arms and rotate that left heel. Keep that right knee still over that right ankle and make sure it doesn't roll inward. So you should still be able to see your big toe. Let's bring our right forearm onto our thigh. Bend the left arm straight up first. If you like, you can rotate the palm so it's facing over your head. And then you can bring the entire arm over. If you want to truly make this power, you can bring your right arm parallel to the left. Keep breathing. Inhale back to warrior two. Let's straighten our right leg. Drop our both arms down. Swing it back and forth. Inhale back up, both arms up, keeping our legs straight. We're going to keep our feet grounded. We're going to allow our torso to go forward. Rotate your palms to in front of you, and then we're going to pivot down. So your right hand's down to the floor, left arms up to the sun. So heaven and earth. In our nice little Shavasana. Your breath. Bend your right knee, come back up into warrior two. Let's bring cartwheel our hands down toward the floor. Rotate your left heel back, take a step back with your right foot downward facing dog. We can go into our plank again. Inhale to plank. You can do your knees touching chin, or you can chaturanga. Vinyasa flow. Maybe if you're a little bit more warmed up, you can go into your upward facing dog or baby cobra, whichever feels good for you. Exhale back into downward facing dog. This time we're going to have our left foot up, three-legged dog. Keep those hips nice and squared. Inhale here. As you exhale, bring your left foot forward. Then drop your right heel down and coming up into your warrior one on this side. So each side might be different, so be kind. So you can keep that left knee over that left ankle. You can keep that right leg kind of straight. Are both hips facing in front? Inhale here and exhale into a warrior two. So rotate that right heel. Arms nice and strong. Check to see if that left knee, try to roll inward, kind of help it guide it out so you can still see that big toe. As we drop our left forearm onto our left shoulder, left thigh, extend the right arm up. You can rotate that palm forward and then extend it over so you have that nice little slope. Again, to make this as a power, you can always bring your left hand and bring it parallel to the right. Keep breathing. Inhale back to warrior two. Nice and strong. Can you feel those angel wings tucked back in there? Check your left knee. Did it roll inward? Let's straighten your leg and you drop your hands down. So kind of release it. Great. Extend your arms back up, nice and straight. Your legs are straight. Just make sure you don't unlock your knees or anything like that. They should be straight. Keep your feet exactly where they're at. We're going to hinge, bring our torso toward the front. Rotate your palms, and then we're going to drop our left palm down toward the earth and right palm up to the earth, heaven. So we're in our Trikonasana. Breathe here, just feel the extension, some stretching. Bend your left knee, come back up into warrior two. And cartwheel or hands down toward the mat. Take a step back with your left foot into your downward facing dog. Do you feel more stretched out here? Do your heels seem to be a little bit closer to the mat than it was at the first time we tried this? Inhale to plank. You can do the knees, chest, and chin, or you can choose to do a child's pose, or you can chaturanga. Exhale into downward facing dog. Let's all drop to our knees. We're going to go into a nice child's pose. You now always have your toes touch each other. If you like, you can always have your knees spread out a little bit wider to the width of your mat if you prefer. And if your shoulders felt tired or a little tight, you can always have your hands down toward your ankles, palms facing up. Or whatever feels good. Sometimes you prefer having your hands stay above your head, but maybe have it at the width of the mat. Gives a little bit more broadness in your shoulders, so it's not pinching. We're going to get back into tabletop. And we're going to get back down to our forearm plank. Yes, forearm planks. So you have the option, always have your knees touching the ground. So this time, going to have your forearm, whichever way your arms feel comfortable. See if you can bend that right knee and bring that right knee toward your elbow. So so you're going to bend at the knee, but also the hip, and then bring it back. So it's kind of like a little mountain climb. Then your left side, back. So options. So I want to give you some options. You can always have your opposite knee on the ground, just give it a little bit more support. But we're working the core, abs. It's just an alternate between the two, both sides. And then when you're done, knees down, and then come into tabletop. Cross your ankles. And we're going to take a seat with our feet right in front of us. You know where this is going. You know, this is the one pose I avoid a lot, but I did say we were talking about the core. So if you feel like you want to give up, it's funny. I was thinking this verse beforehand, and of course they had it yesterday in church service. Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do immeasurable more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Sometimes there are times where we think there is no way I can do something on my own. So you can always call on the power of our Lord. So we're going to go into our boat pose. So check to make sure your sits bones nice and connected. Your feet, your heels are at hip width apart. Now, from a therapeutic standpoint, again, you can always just ground your heels in there and pretend you're trying to pull in that mat toward you, so you can feel that little engagement. You can choose to just do this. This is working, so you're really working that inner core. Feels really good. See if you can kind of keep that shoulder, chest broad. Keep breathing here, but you can feel that working. Now, if you like, you can just lift that right foot up, but still keep that left heel grounded and try to pull it towards you. So noticing if you lift up that right leg, you can feel a little bit different area in your core. Bring that right heel back down. Now pretend you're pulling that right heel, trying to drag that mat towards you. As you engage there, lift that left leg. Might be a little bit shaking too, that's okay, keep breathing. Keep pulling that right heel, drag that right heel towards you. Bring that down. All right, so let's go do full boat pose. So a couple things, other options. You can always have your hands planted underneath your shoulders, fingers toward your body. So you can always do this and then lean back a little, like you bend your elbows, lift your hips, your heels up. So here's an option. You can always do this. So it's really important to make sure that your lower back is nice and protected. So try to keep that 90 degrees. So you can do this. You can stay here. This is so great. If you want another option, you can maybe place your hands right behind your thighs, just give a little bit of guidance. Just like, hey, honey, I know I'm here. That's okay. You can do that one. You can always have your hands up. Every level doesn't mean you're giving, it's better than the other one. It's just whatever your body's at. Or if you want, you can straighten your leg. If you really want, you lift your arms up. The different options, you can choose, you can choose, you can choose. Down. Great. To release, let's hug your knees to your chest. So you can actually hug it forward. So feel how your lower back feels when you hug it. So if you're kind of bending forward, you feel a little bit of release in that lower back. Same is true. Sometimes it feels really good to do a child's pose. So really think about this is almost the same shape as that child's pose. We're going to do this again, you guys. So you can choose your options, level of your boat pose. So again, hands could be directly underneath your shoulders, fingers towards your body. Kind of bend your elbows, lift your feet up. That's one option. Another option is right behind. Hands right behind your thighs. That's an option. If you want to say like, okay, I'm not going to use my hands, you can always straighten it here. You can keep your feet in this nice little level, or if you want, you can straighten it up. If you want, you can always lift your arms. Again, choose whatever option you prefer. And then let's release. Hug your knees to your chest again. I'll do like this when I hug. Just together. And I always go for threes because why the Trinity? So let's go back for a third one, you guys. Okay, so if you need to really go call on some other type of power, you know who to go call on. So hands, option, you choose. Or you can even have it a prayer. You know what, I'm just gonna be praying. All right, Lord, I'm gonna be calling on to your power because sometimes I know that I do not have the strength myself. And when you're ready, you can always come out. Let's come back in. In fact, we're going to have Baddha Konasana, so the soles of your feet are touching each other. Because after that, you guys, after that hard core, it's almost like the carbon, we're getting in our little diamond. So you guys just create some diamonds there. So let's go look at our diamonds. If you want, you can start folding forward. Just make sure you're folding at the hips. If you do want to fold, you don't have to. Ooh. And we're going to come back up. All right. Guide your knees back up. We're going to go on to our back. So couple options. You may choose to have a block nearby. You don't have to have it, but we're going to do the same thing, work on the core. I've shown this beforehand, but I'm going to have us lie on our back. you have a block, have it nearby, or a pillow, and get onto your back. Oops. So knees are bent, so the feet are next to you. We're not going to bridge pose, but your knees are bent here. All right. So you're gonna have your chin slightly tucked. You're gonna lift your right knee up and then your left knee up. So both knees are up. Your feet are flexed, so as if it's stepping on the wall, but your knees are bent. So we're a bunch of 90-degree angles. So your thighs are in perpendicular. So you guys have to understand math here. The thighs are perpendicular to your body. Your calves are parallel to the floor, and your feet are perpendicular to the floor as well. So 99 degrees. All right. So we're going to place our right palm on the thigh surface. We're going to have our left palm facing on our left thigh surface. So both hands are pressing against the thighs. All right. So we're going to play this little game. We're going to be pushing our thighs away from us, but our thigh does not want to be pushed away. So our thighs will be pushing against our hands. Okay. So I want you to inhale here. As you exhale, start pushing your hands into your thighs into your hands. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Keep breathing, but push, 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 push. Which side's winning? Come on. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Keep going, keep going. Come on. Push, push, push. Come on. Which one side's stronger? Your right, left, your legs or your hands, and release. Hug both knees to your chest. If you want, you can rock a little bit side to side. Hugging your knees to your chest, kind of release that lower back. All right, we're going to do the same thing. So your feet are back in the same position, but this time, have your right hand, put your right hand on top of your left thigh. So this is the reason why you may have may want to use a block, because if by chance your arms might not be able to reach your leg, you can always put a block there and kind of help your right palms on top of the left thigh. Extend your left palm, it crosses over your right, and that the left hand is now on top of the right thigh. Yeah, left on top of the right thigh, right? So flex your feet. Inhale here, exhale, and push, you guys. Keep pushing. You're gonna feel different areas of your abs working here. Keep working. Make sure your knees aren't falling in toward each other. I know summer is almost over. You don't have to worry about swimsuit season anymore, but still, come on. Strong core. Push, push, push. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep breathing, keep pushing, and relax. All right, hug your knees to your chest. If you want, you can have your hands on either knees. You can kind of rotate them, kind of like rock them out. That might actually feel even better. Feel your hip flexors. Okay. All right. Same thing, you guys. Feet back in the same position. I tell you, you'd say we're going to work core. All right. This time, your left palm on top of your right thigh. Your right hand's going to cross over, so now your right palm is on top of the left thigh. Flex those feet. Does look good. Flex, flex, flex. Don't let them dangle. Inhale here. Make sure your chin slightly tucked. Ready? And push. So push your hands into your thighs. Make sure that your one side is pushing a little bit stronger than the other side. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Keep pushing. Push. Come on. Not just holding it. Push. Make the strength. You can tell the more you push, you can feel those ab muscles working. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And relax. All right. Hug your knees again. It's great. Great. Okay, this time, if you remember which way you rotate your knees, you can go in the opposite direction. All right, so if you did have a block, I'd like for you to place it between your thighs, right above your knee. All right, so yeah, I love it. Got those paper towels. So as it's sitting there between your knees are back up. So again, almost in that same position. I know you guys think like, oh darn it. So I want your feet still flexed. I want you to feel yourself squeezing inward, squeeze in. So squeeze in on the block, squeeze in on the paper towel, squeeze. So your adductors are engaged here, but you can feel also your core. If you're not sure, if you really want to sense it, you can actually place your hands right on your core and feel what happens when you're squeezing in. All right. Ready, relax, bring your knees to your chest, and then grab your paper towel or your block from it, and place it right between your feet. Now lift your feet up in the air so you got the block. Good job. So you're holding it in because if not, it's going to be falling right in your face. You don't want that. So your hands are down by your side, palms facing downward. So we're going to slowly start lowering the block or the paper towel away from you. Slowly, slowly. And right when you start feeling that your lower back starting to lift up a lot, stop there. So you don't want too much. I don't want you really hurting their lower back. So you can feel where it's just working. So stay in that area. You feel it shaking, it's working. And then bend your knees. Feel being released, bend your knees. Bring your knees a little bit close to your body. And then that way when it's bent, now you can lower your feet a little bit more. Allow it to start going all the way down. So I don't want you to hurt your lower back. That's one of the reasons why once you felt that edge area, bend your knees and bring. Okay, feet on the ground. Excellent. Terrific. So we're going to get to our bridge pose. I know if you need to modify your bridge pose, make sure you don't do it if that happens. So again, your block or your paper towel between your thighs, that makes sure that it doesn't fall in. Your feet are going to be down by as close to your hips as possible. Now it's really important whenever you do a bridge pose or any kind of shoulder stand, not to turn your head to the side. So you're going to always be keeping your gaze straight up toward the ceiling. In fact, it's good for us to keep our eyes always heavenly. So keep your eyes gaze upward. We're going to slowly tuck your lower back to the ground. Feel your entire lower back make contact to the ground. So your hips, the tailbones lift up. And then as it makes contact, then slowly start lifting your hips up. You're going to notice how your knees are going to go a little bit away from you. So let's lift up. Your knees are away from you. Your chest is starting to lift up as well. Your heart's starting to lift up. So you're going to have contact on your shoulders. You can feel, of course, you still have contact in your head. You really don't want to put so much on your head. So you can lift it up. Really see if you can kind of straighten, kind of like a slope from your knees all the way down to your head, your head. If you like, you can always interlace your fingers underneath. You don't have to. That's just an option. And when you do that, that sometimes boosts your shoulders upward. Keep breathing here. Make sure you're not gripping your jaw. Do you feel yourself squeezing in on those blocks? Can you feel your glutes starting to tighten? Strength here. If you like, you can try to even go onto tiptoes and lift your heels up off the ground. So kind of pressing in on those blocks. If you want, you can just options. You don't have to. You can even walk your feet towards your hips even more so. And then lower your feet down. Release your hands if they were, and slowly come down. Allow each vertebrae on your spine to slowly kiss the mat. Just slowly, one at a time. She feels so, so nice. Excellent. Let's release your prop from your knees Extend your arms outward to a T cross. Lift your right knee up. Lift your left knee up. I'm going to allow it to fall over to the right side. Ooh. There's some. Ooh. A little bit of thumb twist. If you like, you can even try to straighten that upper leg, your left leg, straighten it so that the right knee and the left knee is still stacked on top. Just an option. If you want a cervical twist, you can always bring your gaze over to your left fingertips. Over that side. Now bring your gaze back to center. You're going to bend that left leg if you had it straighten. Engage your core, slowly bring it back to center. So 1 minute, just really feel the upper spine in contact first. And then hips comes over. Excellent. You may want to recalibrate yourself. And then slightly lift your hips up a little bit and just shift it over a little bit to the right hand side. And then lift your knees back up off the ground and then allow it to come down towards the left side. Nice and slow. Knees are stacked. Once it makes contact to something, you can always use props to put it underneath to make the floor come up higher. You have an opportunity to straighten your right leg, your upper leg, if you like. Again, listen to what your body's asking for. Can you tell whether or not your right shoulder is maybe making contact to the ground? Keeping that whole area open, stretching, pecs and all. And again, you have that option to get a nice little cervical twist if you want to bring your gaze over toward your right fingertips. Now you can bring your gaze back to center. If your right leg was extended, you can always bend at the right knee. Now again, feel what's going to happen when you slowly derotate. So engage the core slightly, but you're going to have the upper back with lumbar trying to make contact first. And as your knees come back to center, slowly your hips make contact. And then you can hug both knees to your chest. Hug both knees, bring both hands over to your right leg, hug that right knee to your chest even more so. If you like, you can always straighten that left leg and see if it can make contact to the earth. Flexing that left foot may make it actually a little bit more accessible. We're just doing one removing pose. So really good. Just really feel that nice hug. Maybe you can sense that right thigh up against your right side. That where your liver and everything is over there. So your ascending colon. If you like, you can draw big circles with your big toe, your right big toe. Just make sure you draw circles in the opposite direction. Let's bend your left knee, hug your left knee to your chest. Let's switch your hands over to your left knee. Hug even closer, like, oh, we welcome you closer. And you can extend the right leg and see if you can bring it down toward the floor as well. And flexing that right foot, may make it a little bit more accessible. Again, it doesn't have to make progress before, but feel the flexors and everything, a little bit of that stretch. You may have been sitting a lot more. So as you're hugging that left thigh in, breathing here. So as it's pressing against your descending colon. So if you think about that, also your stomach's over there. As you're breathing in and inhale and exhale, so it's nice on the right side, getting up. It's a little internal digestive massage. And bring both the right knee back in. If you like, you can rock side to side. You can always go into a child's pose. If you like, you can even have your legs up straight up, with the wall, whatever you feel your body might be asking for before we get into our final resting pose or final pose, Shavasana. So once you're ready to go into Shavasana, you're going to extend your right heel to the right corner of your mat. Your left heel to the left corner of your mat. Or if you feel like your lower back is bothering you, you can always have your knees bent. Or you can even place a bolster or some type of prop underneath your knees, kind of bend it that way. That's always an option, even at nighttime when you're sleeping. Listen to what your body's asking for. Hands are down and angled toward your side. Palms facing up to get a nice external rotation to your shoulders if that feels good for you. You may want to close your eyes, or if you even have any type of eye pillow or a prop or a towel or anything like that, you're more than welcome to place it on there. And as you're laying here, really just resting. Final pose. Listening with all that you just did. Acquiring some strength and power. Sometimes we think it might be brute strength, but who can we call on to help us? Our purpose that we are here in life. We both face challenges, but who can we also call on to rest in the arms, take shelter, our refuge? And you relax your feet. You notice that there was some tension. Relax those ankles. Relax the calves. Your knees are nice and rested. Allow your thighs, your glutes just melt into the earth. Give permission for your stomach to just be at ease. You surrender your arms, your hands, your shoulders, most importantly, your heart. Feel how that feels. Just no need to hold anything. Complete surrender. Take notice of your head, face, beneath that skull. Just allow that mind to relax, the jaw to relax, even the tongue. Allow your tongue to gently run from the right side to the left side of your upper teeth. And just allow it to rest back on the upper roof of your mouth, behind the teeth. You notice how you were able to get a little bit of moisture in your mouth. Perhaps not realizing maybe there was a thirst before. None of you have realized that we may have had a thirst for the living water, and we are perhaps in a desert. You face an interesting time right now. It may be our desert. Our brain sensation and works back to your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes and kind of spread your toes. See if you can really wiggle them. Each individual, not like one whole unit, but individual toes, individual fingers. Rotate your ankles and your wrists to the opposite direction. Inhale your arms over your head. Stretch really big. Point your toes away from you. Try to be as big, as much space as possible. And as you exhale, just hug your knees to your chest. Just give yourself a well-deserved hug. Love yourself. And then rolling over to your right side. Keep your head into alignment by maybe placing your hands underneath your head. Allow a couple breath cycles here. Continue to keep your eyes closed. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, push yourself up into a comfortable seated position, facing the front. Your hands resting gently on top of your thighs, palms facing up to receive. Having your thumb touching your index finger. And allow your thumb to touch your middle finger. And allow your thumb to touch your pinky finger. Your ring finger. And allow your thumb to touch your finger. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out breath as if you're fogging that mirror. Deep inhale here. Full exhale. Full inhale. Nice cleansing exhale. Putting your hands together, palm touching palm, thumb rests right above your heart. Tucking your chin down toward your heart. May this practice provide you with that power and strength, knowing that even when we may not have it, call on His power. It was immeasurably beyond what we can even imagine. To be able to search and know that He provides us with the guidance to get us out of the desert. Thank you for coming. Namaste. All right.